Just some practical information today for those of you who live in Jerusalem, or at least in Israel, because the news is, and maybe it's not news, but the news is, despite not too many corona cases and almost normal life, there are still places where we have to make appointments in advance. For instance, when we go to the bank, at least my bank, you have to make an appointment in advance, or you have to stand in line outside. It still hasn't changed. And this is really annoying because we were almost without any corona cases until now. Now it's starting a little again. But you know what? When things until, I don't know, a few weeks ago, everything was normal. I don't know, certain authorities or banks, they still want you to make appointments or line up or whatever, or explain yourself in front of the door. And I find this really annoying. So today I went here in Jerusalem to the Bituach Leumi. First of all, I found out that the SNIF, the branch in Ben Sira, doesn't work anymore. And I read like months ago, there is, I think there seems to be a problem with the landlord. So it looks like the entire Bituach Leumi in Ben Sira moved out, and they all moved around the corner to Ben Shetach. So if you have to go to the Bituach Leumi in Jerusalem these days, go to Ben Shetach. Don't even try Ben Sira, because Ben Sira is closed. So I went to Ben Shetach because I'm on a disability due to my cancer treatment. And I got a letter from the Bituach Leumi yesterday. So apparently they want to raise my percentage of disability because I'm before surgery, before heavy duty stomach surgery. So I sent them all my documents and everything. Parts are not missing because at the moment it's very hard for me to get hold of certain doctors at Shaarei Tzedek. So I have to fight with this. And the Bituachs after me, they really want this documents because it looks to me that they want to raise my disability percentage. As a cancer patient, you get in Israel 100%, but it depends on, you have to be on treatment. If you just have cancer and it's not spreading, you're not undergoing treatment, so you don't have this advantages. I don't know if it's an advantage to have cancer at all, but let's call it this way. So I have to bring documents from my oncologist, from probably the surgeon, and I'm trying to get hold of everybody, and one is abroad at the moment, and so I'm trying to get hold of the other one tomorrow, whatever. So I went to the Bituach Leumi on Ben Shetach today in downtown Jerusalem to explain it to them. And what did I find out? You still have to book an appointment in advance on their website. It says it in very tiny print, and you really have to pay attention. I looked a few days ago, I didn't find it. Today I found it. You have to go really into the small print in order to find, like, book your appointment, cancel your appointment, it says. So I'm going to do this. And I had to leave. I didn't have an appointment. So this was it. I'm trying to get hold of papers tomorrow at the hospital, which is really annoying because I also don't have appointments. I have to sneak in. And a friend of mine, she has an issue with the municipality because she's getting a certain discount for her armona, like the municipality tax. Okay, so also with the Jerusalem municipality, and I guess it's also with municipalities all over the country, you also have to book an appointment in advance with the municipality. Doesn't matter what issue you have. So you have the banks still booking appointments in advance. You have the Bituach Leumi, no matter where you live in Israel, booking an appointment in advance, and you have the municipalities. So with the Jerusalem municipality, when you go to their website, you can only book certain issues online, like to have your appointment. For instance, when you have a business or something like that. But she has an Anona issue. She's getting a discount on her Anona and hopefully a payback. So this you cannot book over the website with the Jerusalem municipality. But listen to this. They offer a chat on the website of the Jerusalem municipality. So I entered the chat and there was someone really answering me. I don't know if they answer in English. I wrote to them in Hebrew and I said, how can the friend book an appointment with the Anona issue? And so they give you a hotline. I forgot the number of the hotline now. So I phoned the hotline and believe it or not, someone answered, someone very nice. And my friend has an appointment for Sunday morning at the municipality. Everything worked. But you have to, when you have, for instance, when you have Anona issues, so you have to phone a certain hotline with the Jerusalem municipality to book your appointment. So this is, even when Corona wasn't really, an issue anymore, you still have to do this. And I find this really annoying. And friends of mine say, they don't want to work too much. So they want to limit the people coming in because they want their coffee breaks and everything. Could be. But you know what? It's really annoying booking these appointments. And once you book it, it really works. I'm not complaining about this. But, it's still really annoying to book this appointment. And, then sometimes you have to wait for a week or two. It's, I don't know. I just wanted to keep you up to date that you have if you have like a red tape issue with the Bituach Leumi, with the municipality. I'm not talking about the hospitals. This is another issue. But you have to make appointments in advance. This could also happen to me tomorrow that I have to make an appointment in advance. I'm waiting for surgery and I have to undergo a certain test. And this test can't take place until I have, letters from my oncologist and from the surgeon because my health insurance wants it. Nothing is moving at the moment. And, when you come to Israel, I don't know how it is in the States, but, when you come here, you find yourself in many situations where things are, it just doesn't move. And you have to sneak in. And when you are sick, it's even more annoying because, I have 2 stomach tumors growing and, nothing moves here and nothing moves there. And I have to book appointments. And I hope I can get hold of someone tomorrow to write a letter and to give me the right referral to my test I have to undergo before surgery. And, well, I mentioned a friend of mine who has an issue, this Anona issue, with the Jerusalem municipality. So when you come here to Israel, you should have a certain amount of Hebrew. For instance, it's also the Bituach Leumi, the national insurance, as well as the Jerusalem municipality. So they offer websites in English. But when you click on it, when you want to get to certain forms, fill in forms online, of course you can do this. You can do everything here in Israel online. It's actually very convenient. So when you click on these forms, everything appears in Hebrew. I just want you to know that. For me, it's not an issue because I know Hebrew. I do everything in Hebrew and no problem. But for someone whose Hebrew is almost non-existent or very bad, this is an issue. And, someone I know, she had surgery in April, at the end of April, she had surgery at Shaarei Tzedek Hospital here in Jerusalem. And she does not, for one reason or the other, she does not manage in Hebrew, only in English. And so many doctors she talked to, they knew English, sometimes very limited. And many secretaries at the hospital, you find that they don't speak English at all. And then she got to, at pre-op, to this doctor who was Russian and yelled at her because her Hebrew was not good enough and he had to talk to her in English. You know, sometimes Israel wants to have a certain international standard. And so do, I'm not talking about the Jerusalem Municipality, I'm not talking about the Bituach Leumi, but I'm talking about, for instance, certain hospitals. They want to have international standard. And they also want patients from abroad, you know. For many issues here, for many illnesses, sometimes Israel is not the worst place to come. I don't know if treatment here is so much better than you would have in the United States, for instance. I don't know. But Israel wants to have a certain international standard. It doesn't matter if it's Hadassah Hospital, Tel HaShomer, or Shaarei Tzedek. But when it comes to certain situations, also with the staff, nurses, certain doctors, secretaries, like all this bureaucracy stuff, and you only speak English, and let's say you came to Israel as an English-speaking person, as an English-speaking patient, and of course you pay a fortune here for your treatment, you know, you expect a certain standard, at least that people talk to you in English. But many times you find yourself in a position, even when you pay all hundreds of thousands of dollars, or I don't know what, you find yourself in a position that the staff hardly speaks English or doesn't speak English. You find this in many situations here. It's not a matter of calling the gas company and paying your gas bill or your water bill or your electric bill with a credit card. This is for many new immigrants also an issue because everything is in Hebrew. But when it comes to hospitals, and many hospitals here, they want patients from abroad. Or within the next couple of years, they want patients from abroad. You know, it's more money, whatever. But you know, the Israeli way of thinking is there is not an international standard, and there is not an international standard of knowing English, for instance. It can be a real problem, and I have friends like, you know, whose Hebrew is sometimes limited also, or especially when it comes to certain topics such as medical issues. You know, they just don't know the words and everything. Of course, many doctors here from Israel, they have worked in the United States. This is a little different. So then they worked in Australia or in Canada or somewhere else in an English-speaking country. So then it's not so much of an issue. But especially when it comes to secretaries, I can only talk now about Shaarei Tzedek. You know, many of their secretaries have no clue when you go there and say English. No. So what are you going to do? Bring someone who speaks Hebrew? I don't know. But sometimes it can be really annoying. I mean, I speak Hebrew, so I don't have this, but I'm warning you, when you go somewhere and when you print out forms online from the municipality, from the Bituach Leumi, you know, you find yourself confronted with Hebrew. And also when you go somewhere, even when you phone Bezek sometimes, the phone company, and you have problems with your internet or with your phone line or whatever. So it says like, push 1 for Hebrew, push 2 for Arabic, push 3 for Russian, push 4 for English. So friends of mine tell me they push English, and who do they get? Who is like the representative answering the phone? someone who doesn't speak English at all. It could be whoever, but you know what? It's not someone you push English and you get someone who doesn't speak English. So, you know, Israel is always like, you can always have many surprises. You can have lots of chaos. You have to be flexible. You have to run after things. You have to be very innovative sometimes. And you have to stick to your goal. Of course, you should, in the course of the time, learn some Hebrew. It's really of an advantage. If you don't, you always have to find someone who speaks English. Sometimes it's easier to find someone who speaks Russian. But you always have to find someone to translate, because many people also on the phone, like hotlines or whatever, young people, young Israelis, they say, I don't speak English. So I'm not trying to discourage you to move to Israel, to make Aliyah, you know what I mean? But it can be very challenging from time to time, especially when it comes to red tape and you are expecting a certain, not service, but certain kind of behavior or responsibility from others. So I'm just letting you know, don't expect too much, and you won't be disappointed. So tomorrow I'm going to dive back into my bureaucracy thing. In the meantime, my tumors are happily growing, but I hope that I can solve all the problems and get all the appointments and certain documents. If not, so it's going to take another few weeks. Who cares? So just don't be surprised. Don't expect too much. And don't forget, I don't want to discourage you. I'm just telling you some reality. So prepare yourself and take it easy. Be relaxed, or take some tranquilizers or something. Okay, thank you very much for listening and have a good day.